Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching and Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channels. You're on the Pro Wrestling Logic side. But if you ever need life, relationship, or business coaching, certainly worth reaching out if you can. We're here with the Raw review for the 15th of March. This is by far the worst build to WrestleMania I think I've ever seen. And I know they're going to say, oh, well, it's a month away. Like, I remember when you used to get hyped around the idea of WrestleMania in the beginning of February, and it's the middle of March, and I don't think anybody cares. They kicked off with news that Lashley will defend the championship against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Good for Drew. He'll get a win in front of people, which is good. I mean, I'm sorry for Lashley being a placeholder, but he had to know that that's the role he was put in. Lashley and MVP coming out. They are dressed in suits. They were reminded that the Almighty era has begun. And Lashley is called the CHO of the Hurt Business. He won the title after 16 years of dedication, many of which weren't in the company, by the way. Lashley said he wasn't given anything. He said he had to fight to win the title and did so after destroying McIntyre, which he'll do again at WrestleMania. Miz and Morrison entered. They are dressed like, well, bums. They claimed they were all in on the Almighty era. Miz was honored to share a ring with Lashley. He said that the rivalry was over. He talked about awesome feuds, Mania, including Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, The Rock, and Steve Austin. Miz impersonates Steve Austin, looks like an idiot for 316 week, and he goes on and on and on. Basically, he wants Lashley to agree to fight him at Mania. This did not happen. McIntyre interrupts. He walked right by Miz and Morrison, doesn't even acknowledge they're anywhere nearby. McIntyre said he knew what it's like to take a long journey to win the championship. He said they've both had years of being the hardest working men in the room. While opportunities passed them by, they both left WWF or WWE and had to start over when they came back. McIntyre won the Royal Rumble and beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes, whereas Lashley made a bad deal to screw him out of the championship. MVP told McIntyre he'd have to deal with Sheamus. Before he even gets there, McIntyre isn't worried about Sheamus and wondered why MVP's even there. Lashley said that there should be a focus on him. Miz reminded them that he's there. Everybody wants to forget, and so most people did. McIntyre said that Miz can attack him if he wants or just go to the back. McIntyre said he beat Miz in a match and Sheamus at Fastlane. They're doing the Fastlane thing just to have a peacock run. Anyway, which just sounds weird. Anyway, regarding the belt at Mania, Almighty Era will end. McIntyre calls Lashley out again, and he calls him big, bad, and a word I can't say on this channel. Lashley acted like he's going to leave, but attacks McIntyre after Miz distracts him. Lashley leaves. Miz attacks McIntyre. Sheamus comes out. He attacks Lashley as he's leaving. And then there's almost an attack on MVP, but that doesn't happen. Sheamus tells Sarah that he wanted McIntyre at 100% so he wouldn't have any excuses. At Fastlane, he's going to beat Lashley tonight and show McIntyre what he wouldn't be able to do at Mania. Referee checks on McIntyre, makes sure he could start his match against The Miz. And they run down the card. McIntyre's ready to go once everything is finished. 11 and a quarter minutes, Drew McIntyre beats The Miz with John Morrison. Number one, why bring Morrison back if you're going to waste him like this? Number two, why are you giving The Miz, who's been around for nearly, well, over a decade and a half, 11 minutes in a match that does not matter? Anyway, Miz attacks McIntyre. McIntyre fights back, takes control. Morrison tries distraction, doesn't work. McIntyre stomps on Morrison's sunglasses that he throws at McIntyre. Miz attacks for a minute. McIntyre makes a comeback, fights him off pretty easy. Then McIntyre hits a reverse Alabama slam. Morrison saves Miz. McIntyre sets up the Claymore. Ref tosses Morrison from ringside. They go to break. They come back. Miz hits a DDT for just a 1 count. McIntyre comes back with some overhead suplexes and a neckbreaker before going to the outside, and then tries to dive into the barricade. McIntyre slaps Miz in the face and then bounces him into the steel steps. McIntyre hits the Future Shock DDT and the Claymore kick. McIntyre points to the camera, points to the Mania sign, and puts Miz in the Hurt Lock for a submission to try and send a message to Lashley. This could have been done in about 4.5 minutes and took 11.25 instead. Announcers congratulate Bad Bunny on winning a Grammy for a Latin pop album. He's shown walking with Damian Priest backstage. I really do wonder how many of the fans of Raw care about Bad Bunny. Like, maybe a quarter? I don't know. But it can't be as many as they think. Braun Strowman, Shane McMahon segment. Strowman's mid-sentence in the ring, post-commercial, so he doesn't even get an entrance. Shane comes out. He wasn't sure what Strowman wants. Strowman says he's been bullied his whole life by guys like Shane. Really? A guy that size been bullied his whole life? Really? Okay. So, he didn't grow up in a mansion. Shane thought his accusations were disgusting. He said he'd never insult another man. Really? So, what he's been doing for 20 years on and off doesn't count, I guess? And neither does the video archive? Anyway, so Shane wants a match with him and didn't have the guts to issue the challenge. Strowman challenges him to a match tonight. Shane says he can't handle that, meaning Strowman can't. Shane then makes a bunch of random stupid jokes and stumbles over his own words a bunch. Shane accepts the challenge. So R-Truth is dressed up like Steve Austin and approaches Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, Lana, and Naomi in the back. They told him today is 3:15, not 3:16, so 3:16 week doesn't matter yet. He kept saying what in response. He offers them a beer, but told them he was told that they have a match next. Oh joy. Truth downed a Broken Skull IPA before saying, and that's the bottom line because R-Truth said so. This is horrible. Oh, wow. Anyway, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke defeats Lana and Naomi in 4.5 minutes. Nia Jackson and Baszler are on commentary for this. Rose and Brooks go after Naomi until she hits a jawbreaker, and in comes Lana. Lana goes nuts on Mandy Rose. Byron Saxton is impressed by this. Baszler throws out some useless insults. Moves. Asuka's music hits. She runs out. Baszler leaves commentary and goes after Asuka. And then Asuka nails a roundhouse kick. Asuka continues her attack on Baszler. Jax calmly said, I should help, but she doesn't. Lana gives Rose an X Factor. Rose isn't legal. Brooke threw in, hits a neckbreaker for pinfall, and Jax is confused by this. Riddle approaches Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods in the back. New Day are excited to see him, startled to see him. They're going to leave tonight as tag champs, apparently. Riddle thought that they should get matching tattoos. New Day didn't like the idea. Riddle suggesting scooters. New Day liked that idea better. And this is an hour of my life I'll never get back. Second hour, so Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods defeat Sheldon Benjamin and Cedric Alexander to win the Raw Tag Team Championship. Of course, because, well, that's a good idea to have them be 11-time champions. And, yeah, okay. Anyway, New Day wears Mortal Kombat gear. They do the old Scorpion get over here kind of spot, which leads to Woods yelling Toasty to make fun of a video game that was from like 25 years ago. Anyway, Hurt Business, well, first 25 years ago or so. Anyway, Hurt Business puts an end to the fun, and Alexander Monkey flips Kingston into a spinebuster by his tag team partner, which was a cool looking spot. Kingston comes back, hits a double foot stomp, and then tags in Woods, who fights off both guys. New Day tried dives, Hurt Business blocks them, knocks them down on the outside, which of course leads to a commercial break because, well, that's the only place that production knows where to put commercial breaks. Woods and Alexander exchange blows until Alexander hits a Michinoku driver for a near fall. Kingston comes in, gets cut off by a Benjamin Enziguri. Kingston back with a Rana and a foot stomp for a 2 count. So we've seen 2 foot stomps in about 3.5 minutes. Then there's an SOS for near fall. Benjamin launches Kingston off the top with an arm drag. Woods breaks up the cover. Woods takes out Alexander with a tornado DDT. Kingston hits Benjamin with Trouble in Paradise before wiping out Alexander with a dive. Woods gives Benjamin a flying elbow drop, and then they hit the daybreak. New Day are the new tag team champions. Match is fine. Story is abysmal. AJ and Omos enters as New Day celebrated. New Day are ready to fight. Styles says he wants to congratulate them on winning right before Mania. Styles says that he's been WWE Champion, IC Champ, US Champ, and even fought The Undertaker at Mania. So, off mic, Woods basically tells AJ that no one cares about all of this, which is partially true because we don't care about history. Styles says Omos had an idea. Omos thought they should be tag champs. Styles officially challenges New Day for Mania. Kingston says he doesn't know if they're officially registered as a tag team. Styles says they are. New Day accepts. So apparently this title change is just to set up another. Priest and Bad Bunny approach The Miz and Morrison. They make fun of The Miz, which everyone should try at least every day of their life. Miz had barely held the belt, and that was the acknowledgement. Miz runs down his accomplishments and asks Damian Priest which championship he's run. He said he should start winning some now. He gets in Miz's face, and Miz and Morrison both back off. Truth is about to attack Bad Bunny with an Austin 316 lunchbox. Truth said that he's only there to give him some gifts. He had Steve Austin plush doll and a smoking skull belt for Bad Bunny. He also brought a beer for Damian Priest. Bad Bunny wanted to know what Truth wants to trade. Truth wants the 24/7 belt. Bad Bunny said he respected Truth and the business. He gives Truth the 24/7 belt. Truth is happy with this. Drew Gulak, Akira Tozawa, and Carrillo all chase him away. This is so much like when they just handed the belts to Hunter. Yay, we're back in the Vince Russo era where belts are just props. Anyway, Gulak wrestled Daniel Bryan, just think about that, less than a year ago. One of the geeky announcers says that the on-sale ticket date for Mania will be announced soon. Damian Priest with Bad Bunny defeated Jason Riker with Elias in 35 seconds. He hits a broken arrow followed by hit the lights. Elias attacked Priest after the match. Why are we wasting time with this? Tries to hit him with a guitar. Bad Bunny snatches it away. Elias gets in his face. Priest gives Elias his finish. Morrison comes back out. Miz hits Bad Bunny from behind with a guitar. Director missed this, by the way. Miz bails out before Priest could get him. Priest checks on Bad Bunny, and absolutely no one cared. Cricket. Sarah interviews Lashley and MVP. MVP is angry about all of this, and Sheamus attacking Lashley. He warns Sheamus that he won't be walking into Fastlane 100%. And then we go to Shane McMahon, Braun Strowman in a match that doesn't happen. Shane stalls before the match. He claims he needs to warm up. He does jumping jacks and other calisthenics. He sets up a hopscotch game at ringside. Um, then Strowman is upset, and Strowman kicks Shane into the barricade and decides to run all the way around the ring for a shoulder tackle attempt because, well, he's not very intelligent. Shane has enough time to grab a camera from the cameraman and hit Strowman in the face with it. Ouch. And then Shane hit Strowman with the camera a bunch of times before clearing off the announcer's table. We know what's coming here. It's been coming for 25 years. It's a dive through the announcer's table. Anyway, Strowman laid out on the table. Shane hits a flying elbow drop off the top and crashes through. Shane gets up really quickly because the only thing we know how to sell is tickets to a COVID-laden Florida for WrestleMania, and then he grabs a bucket of green slime from under the ring and dumped it over. So this is like a Nickelodeon show now. Yeah, they're about the right target age demo. He keeps calling him stupid, and grabs a second bucket and dumps it on him. They play Shane's music as he walks away, and Strowman acts mad. Rhea Ripley is still coming soon. Alexa Bliss comes out. She's wearing. She does the swing set thing. She tells Randy Orton that if he wanted her out of his life, he'd have to get her out of it. Bliss said she wanted the opportunity at Fastlane. I wondered if he'd take it. Apparently this means they're supposed to fight, but man on woman violence isn't allowed, so it's just a dumb angle to waste more time. They play a clip of Shane Helms informing Molly Holly that she'd be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. This is the best thing on the show thus far. Asuka defeats Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax in a non-title match in a minute and a half. Asuka goes after Baszler. Before the match starts, she takes Jax out with a code breaker. Ref checks on Baszler, and then the match officially starts. Asuka goes after Baszler, knocking Jax off the apron with a hip attack. There's a knee strike from Baszler, and she gets hit in the jaw. Ref checks on Asuka. Didn't she just come back from a concussion? Anyway, let's not work smart. No. Anyway, referee checks on Asuka. She's apparently fine because this continues. Asuka goes for an armbar. She knocks Jax off the apron a second time. Baszler puts Asuka in the coquina clutch. Asuka rolls through, covers pin, and wins. Baszler still has the hold on, but lets go as the bell rings. Baszler tries to kick another one of Asuka's teeth out. Asuka blocks it, hits a German suplex, and several kicks of her own. Asuka then curve stomps Baszler in the face in the bottom turnbuckle. Asuka removes buckle padding, and Baszler has her mouthguard removed. She stomps her into the exposed buckle. Ref saves Baszler. This is a complete waste of time. Mustafa Ali tells Retribution that they better handle things tonight. Riddle runs past on a scooter. This does not impress Ali. Announcers go down the Fastlane card, which now includes McIntyre, Sheamus, Shane, and Strowman. I don't even think this is worth the $5 on Peacock. Anyway, Riddle defeats Mustafa Ali in just under 9 minutes in a U.S. title match. Ali sends him into the new announce table on the outside, hits a swinging neckbreaker, which must be moved to the night on the apron. This leads to a break about a minute and a half into the match. Ali takes control, hits another neck breaker for a near fall. Um, does this a third time. Riddle fights back, hits a suplex after a Pele kick, and a fisherman buster for near fall. So now we're killing Riddle's moves because it shouldn't take him 4 offensive moves and still not be able to beat a guy like Ali. Riddle cradles him. Ali reverses the cradle into his own cradle. T-Bar distracts the referee. Riddle kicked out of the. Riddle kicks out, hits the Bro Derek, gets the win. Match is completely non-memorable. Retribution runs after Riddle and away he runs. Ali yells at them, and they still have the stable that no one's cared about from the beginning. Sarah asks Orton about his reaction to Alexa Bliss. He says Orton thinks it's funny she wanted to kick him out of his life because exactly what he planned on doing. McIntyre's back for another elongated promo. Anyway, McIntyre is still in his gear. He basically says the fans should wonder why he hasn't showered and changed yet. He says he always dresses this way. McIntyre said that MVP did a dangerous thing, making a guarantee earlier. McIntyre planned on beating Sheamus at Fastlane before beating Lashley at Mania, and he has a front row seat for the main event tonight. Lashley with MVP defeats Sheamus in a non-title match, 17 and a half minutes. McIntyre watches the whole thing from ringside. Back and forth. Sheamus gets caught by Lashley and hits him with an overhead suplex. Lashley gets in McIntyre's face as they go to break. Lashley is in full control. He basically gives McIntyre a thumbs up from the outside. Sheamus hits moves out of the way, a shoulder tackle. Lashley goes shoulder first into the post. Sheamus hits a clothesline, but Lashley kicks out with a 1 count. And then Sheamus clubbed his way, hits a backbreaker for a 1 count. Sheamus follows up with another backbreaker, this time for a 2 count. Sheamus applies a modified sharpshooter. Lashley gets his way out of that and hits a power slam. Sheamus then hits elbow strikes. Lashley counters into a flatliner. Lashley follows with a superplex, and Sheamus countered a spear attempt with a knee strike. Sheamus follows with the white noise for near fall. Sheamus goes for bro kick. Lashley nails a spear. Match was fine, but it's complete throwaway. Like, will you even remember this match happened next week at the end of Raw? Probably not. Lashley puts Sheamus down in the Hurt Lock post-match. McIntyre gets in the ring. Sheamus bumps into MVP. Lashley turns his attention to both of them. McIntyre knocks him out of the ring with a Claymore kick. McIntyre and Sheamus stared at each other as the show ended, and nobody cared. Anyway, recapped 3-hour show in under half an hour, and you missed nothing. I'll be back with AEW Elevation. I'll be back with Dark and Impact. We'll be back with more right after this.